So here's how I was able to build a voice AI agent that was able to handle all of my bookings for me and send me automated email reminders. And here's the original flow that we had in the previous video. And drum roll, here's the final one. Nice. And here's the final demo of the product.
Thank you, Ali. What are the details for the booking?
Let's do tomorrow at 2 p.m. for lunch.
Give me a moment. It looks like the 2 p.m. slot isn't available. Could you please choose a different time between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. for your booking?
Let's do 4 p.m. tomorrow instead.
Give me a moment.
And yeah, looks like it turned out really good. This was a really fun project to do. It actually had to do with my dad and his business because he's going on holiday soon. He thought it would be a great idea to have this personal assistant be able to handle his bookings for him while he was overseas. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get straight to it. By the way, my name's Ali Mohammed and I actually help businesses leverage inbound and outbound voice AI agents to handle lead qualification and bookings and appointments. So if that sounds like you, please do stick around to the end of the video because I think it'll be very valuable to you. But yeah, that out of the way, let's get straight to the video. Okay, beautiful. So first things first, let's actually break down the logic for this flow. And it's quite similar to our last video, but it's a little bit more complex and we'll just start at the beginning. So first of all, we actually call the agent through Vapi. And while we're talking to the agent, we'll obviously ask it for a date and time for the booking. The agent will make sure to check that this time is actually within our hours. And I'll show that later on in the Vapi prompt, how important this is. Because sometimes the agent will, you can ask, can I have a booking at like 8 p.m. when your operating hours are between like 9 to 6? And it'll be like 8 p.m. is between 9 to 6 p.m. We can do that, even though it's not. So we're going to make sure that there's some hard-coded logic to make sure that this time is within the hours for the booking. Once the time has been checked to be within operating hours, we basically confirm back to the user, hey, is this the time, the date, and the reason for the booking? If they say yes, we trigger a back-end AI automation through n8n to just see if that time is available in our Google Calendar. So in the event that there is not a time slot available, for that booking, we basically request to the user to make a booking at a different time, and we just repeat this loop until we find an available time slot. Then it gets sent to Google Calendars, and we put this info inside of a CRM or an email. I'm going to be showing you how to do both in this video, and then we basically return the booking result to the user, just letting them know like, hey, your booking for X and X for Y, Z or whatever for tomorrow with Ali has been confirmed. We look forward to seeing you, or Ali looks forward to seeing you. So that's how the flow works, and we'll actually quickly cut to the n8n workflow. So there's a bit that's going on here, but I'm going to try my best to explain it. I'm going to go very high level for now until we actually get some data with the voice AI agent, because it won't make much sense without some data. But essentially what we're trying to do here is, if I just zoom in real quick, this webhook is connected to our tool inside of Vapi and will trigger whenever we obviously confirm that booking information with the user. So that's been hard coded in Vapi. So this will only trigger once that information has been confirmed by the user. Then this if statement is quite important. We basically check to make sure that the type of message that's being received is a tool call. And this basically prevents Vapi from randomly calling this tool, maybe at like the start of a call, end of a call, or even during a call when it's not meant to. So this is just a double check to make sure that, hey, make sure that the message type is a tool call when we want it to. Then we essentially split all that information out into different categories. And the reason we do this is because it's a bit hard to explain without the flow, but what we're trying to do is we grab all that information from the webhook and we only extract the transcript, because that's what we're trying to look for here. The logic behind this is that during the call, we're just looking for the transcript and we're just using the AI agent to find like the piece of information where we've confirmed the details. That's really all we're trying to do here. So generally during the call, the AI will confirm the details with the user within like the last 5 to 10 messages. So in this case, we grab like the last 5 messages of the transcripts. We feed that into an aggregator to combine all that information and then send that to an AI agent, which will check to see if that time that the user has requested is actually available. And the way we do that inside the availability tool is just calendar availability for this particular calendar, start time of the booking, and then end time of the booking. If you haven't watched my previous video, I actually go through this from AI format, and I think it's super powerful. And then the output format is booked slots. So this will basically tell us if there is already a booked slot at that time period that the user has requested or not. Then this AI agent will be like, okay, is this time slot booked out or not? And the way that I've prompted it inside of here, and by the way, I'm going to be giving this out as a resource down in the link in the description, but basically the output that we want is if the user's wanted booking time and date is already booked out, return unavailable. If there are currently no bookings at that time, return with the output available. So this AI agent is basically checking, hey, is the time that the user requested actually available? Yes or no? Then we put that in through an if statement. So if the output of the AI agent is available, as in there is a calendar booking, then we return true. And that leads us up to this node, which is the actual AI agent to create that booking. So now that we've confirmed that there is an actual availability, we can go ahead and start creating this out. So this AI agent will basically extract the transcript from the aggregate node. And once again, once we actually call this thing, I'll explain in more detail with some actual results. But from a very high level, we basically grab that transcript, feed it into this create booking AI agent. And then there's a system prompt. So we just extract the date, time, and purpose of the booking. It seems that this is not filled out properly. I think that's literally just because of this. Oh no. Oh, let me change these double quotes. That could be the issue. Oh well. I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out as we call the agent. Oh, nope, there we go. Okay, just double quote. Cool. So this basically extracts the time, date, and purpose of the booking and the name for the booking, and then it makes sure to return the responses. I have successfully created booking for person's name at time, for date, for reason of booking. Ollie looks forward to seeing you soon. And then we basically tell this AI agent to trigger the CRM. If you want to use a CRM, create the booking and send an email to the user, which in this case is me, just notifying me, hey, someone's made a booking. Then we return that information with a webhook response. And later on in the video, I'm going to be showing you Vapi's documentation for actually returning the tool call results, because there's a certain format, a JSON format that Vapi expects when you make a tool call. But in this case, very broad level, respond with JSON. And the result is going to be that tool call ID, which once we have some information, will be easier to explain. And then the result is basically the output of this AI agent. Doesn't look like it, but it is. And that's basically what the AI agent will understand and be able to repeat back to the user. Now, on the second case where that time is not available, we basically return a response to the user saying that the booking is not available at that time, and we just rinse and repeat. Kind of like this. It's basically the same thing. So, what does this have? Exact same tool call, and then just a static response saying, I'm sorry, but we don't have a time available at that a booking available at that time, please make another one. Very high level, hopefully that makes some sense, but we'll go into more detail once we actually call this thing. Now I want to go into the actual Vapi agent itself. So we have the personal booking assistant. So this is, hi, this is Ollie's virtual assistant. How can I help you? Just using the standard 4.0 mini and with a max tokens of 125. And then once again, link in the description. I'll probably have a Google Drive with the actual prompt for this so you can play around with it yourself. But there's only one tool that we're using here, which is the create booking tool. And just quickly to go over the tasks, we greet the customer. If the customer asks to request a booking, ask for their name and wait for a response. Ask for the booking details in any order that the customer provides them. Ensure that the date and time are within the working hours. Do not tell the customer to do it in, actually no, it's fine, to be honest. Sorry about that. Confirm the booking details with the customer and make any changes. Once the customer confirms the details are correct, use the create booking function. In this case, we're just making that tool call with the webhook into that n8n automation to create the booking. And then once the booking has either been successfully created or unsuccessfully created, it'll basically tell the user, and then you just rinse and repeat if it's not available, and then basically end the call if it is available, saying, hey, we just made a booking. Ollie looks forward to seeing you for whatever reason. And yeah, that's the basic flow. I'm not going to go too terribly into detail with this, but you can see here an example is just like customer. Hey, I'd like to make a booking for a booking on Friday at 3 p.m. for lunch. My name is John Smith. Great. Can I have a booking for John Smith? Oh, great. I have a booking for John Smith on Friday at 3 p.m. for lunch. Can you please confirm that this information is correct? Yes, that's correct. Then we trigger the create booking function, actually create it. Then we say, thank you for confirming, John. I've now created a booking. We look forward to seeing you. Ali looks forward to seeing you on Friday at 3 p.m. for lunch. Sweet. So that is all that. We're going to publish because we made changes. In terms of the transcriber, same thing, degram Nova to phone call, voice 11 labs, and then I have a custom voice ID. You can probably just copy this. I don't even remember which one it was because it doesn't tell me. And then 11 flash V2.5. I think, yeah, stability 0.7, 0.4, 0.7 clarity. Functions, the only function or tool we have here is the create booking tool. And then for advanced, we don't actually have a server URL. You can put the server URL in here if you want to, but I kind of have the actual webhook URL inside of the tool itself. So that is how it triggers. And there's different priorities when it comes to tool calling inside of Vapi. You have the assistant level tool calling, which is if you put a server URL in the assistant level, it'll always trigger that URL. Whereas if you have the webhook URL in the tools level, each webhook is going to be specifically called for that tool, if that makes sense. But in this case, because we are only using one tool, so like for example, let's say you have more than one tool, right? If you have more than one tool, putting a server URL webhook for one of those tools will only trigger that one and not the other one, if that makes sense. So you put both of your server URLs in the tool level instead of the assistant level to make sure it actually sends the correct information. But in this case, because we're using one tool, you can just put the server URL in here as well. Doesn't really matter. But basically the information that we're trying to send across from this URL is conversation update, function call result, hang, metadata, speech update, transcript, tool call result. And then for the server messages, we have conversation update, end of call report, function call, hang, speech update, status update, and then tool calls. That is what I found works, and I'm going to publish. And cool, I think we are good to go. Just real quick, let me show you the tool that I created for this. So same tool as the last video, I just renamed it. But integration, we basically have our webhook URL. And for details, we have the tool name. So in this case, it's create booking. Created a booking once the AI agent has confirmed the user's date, time, and number of guests. Oh, this should be changed to purpose of booking. So it's still the same from last video. Async tool boolean async, you can turn this off. This doesn't really matter because we're doing this on the call. The function is booking. So this basically just creates a book. Sweet, that's all you need. And then leave the tool messages as blank. Save. And beautiful, we should be able to use this and hopefully it works. So let's actually call this voice AI agent.
Hi, this is Ali's virtual assistant. How can I help you?
Hey, can I make a booking, please?
Of course. May I have your name for the booking?
Ali.
Thank you, Ali. Could you please provide me with the booking details, such as the date, time, and type of booking? You can share them in any order.
Let's do tomorrow at 12 p.m. for lunch.
Just to confirm, you would like to book a lunch for tomorrow at 12 p.m., correct?
Yes, that's correct.
This will just take a sec. Thank you for confirming.
Okay, interesting. We got an issue here. Let's quickly fix that. This get node parameter split is not a function. Oh, interesting. I wonder what happened here. Can I test this step? Node output successfully determined. Fields to split out. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's include no other fields. Okay, let's quickly see what happened here. So, for some reason, this didn't actually split. So this is the transcript. of our actual conversation. And for some reason, it didn't actually split. Let's test this again. This get node parameter split is not a function. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, split entity function. Okay, cool. Let me come back to this and figure out what's wrong, and I'll explain what happened, just because I might be here for a bit troubleshooting. Okay, cool. So I've gone ahead and actually fixed what was wrong here. There was just something wrong with the formatting, but basically here we have the fields to split out is body.message.artifact message OpenAI format. So this is a great time for me to actually explain this section of the flow and give you guys an idea of what actually happened. So let me quickly save. So this webhook triggered when we wanted to actually call the create booking function. And you can see here the output that this webhook response is just a bunch of random information, but we're trying to specifically look for that transcript. So if we scroll down a bit, you can actually see here that there is the messages. And these are basically the messages that went back and forth with the agent. So you can see message 1, hey, this is Ollie's virtual assistant, made by the bot. And then this one was made by the user. Hey, can I make a booking, please? Bot, of course, may I have your name? And that's basically the conversation. And then there's also the OpenAI formatted one, which I think is just better. So this is what we want to extract. Oh, sorry. This is what we want to extract. We want to extract this transcript only. We don't want all this random information to feed into the chatbot or into the AI agent. We just want the transcript. So this is just making sure that the tool is actually triggered during a tool call and not just randomly at the start or the end of the video. I think I had someone in the comments ask me how to overcome that, and this should hopefully be how you do it. If not, just apply another filter. Just apply a filter and make sure that filter is, I think, a tool call, or yeah, it's just a tool call. So I think that should be all good. Then what we do is we basically take all that information and only split out the transcript. So this is what was having the error before, but basically we want to look for the field called body, and not in the if statement. I tend to keep it in the webhook. So we want to look for the body, which is this. We want to look for the message, which is this. We want to look for the artifacts, which is this. We want to look for messages OpenAI format, which is this. And everything inside of here is what we want to split into its own items, pretty much. So that's what that's doing. And then we feed all of that into this limiter, which just limits the last 10 items. I say 5, I need to change this. This actually needs to be 10, but yeah, exact same principle. 5, we'll quickly change this now in case I forget. Cool. And then we can actually see here in the JSON, 10 items have returned. It's those very last conversations in the transcript, which in this case, because we had less than 10 conversations, it's just everything. But yeah, you can see here how this is a virtual assistant, and this is what we're going to be feeding into the AI agent, as opposed to the entire webhook, which takes up a lot of tokens and a lot of time, when really all we're trying to get is just this transcript. We're really just trying to get this, right? Just trying to get this. So that's pretty much what we've done here. And then we were meant to aggregate all that information and just grab the role. So hopefully we can actually probably just trigger this and see if it works. Okay, sweet. So hopefully that would have gone through, and that would have turned all of those individual items into one main item. So what that means is, if you're a little confused, is each of these content pillars, I guess, are individual items. And obviously we can't feed all of these individual items into the AI agent because it requires one field, right? Like if I go into here, it only takes in like one text parameter, not 10. So the way we do that is we basically take all of those 10 items and just put it into one item that we feed into the AI agent. So in this case, we turned all 10 of those individual messages in the JSON into one message, one just big message that we feed back into the AI agent. And then hopefully we can actually run this and it'll execute. Cool, so this is checked for the availability, and let's see what the output is. The output is available. So basically what we've done here is the current date is now. Check if the date that the user wanted is available in the availability tool. For example, this could be, so we basically give an example of what to extract. Then we make sure it grabs the latest message in case there are multiple confirmations in the transcript. And then if there is already a booking at the user's wanted booking time and date, return with only the output unavailable. If there are currently no bookings at the time, return with only the output available. So because I think I wanted a booking at 12 p.m. tomorrow, you can actually see here that there is no booking in my calendar for 12 p.m. So the AI agent returned back with available. And the way it was able to figure this out is with this Google Calendar Available tool. So we take in calendar availability from my calendar, the start time using the from AI method. And if you guys don't understand the from AI method, check out my previous YouTube video where I actually go into detail on how this method works. But it's basically AI's way of figuring out what to put in here. So for example, I prompted it to say start time of the booking, and it was able to correctly extract the start time as tomorrow at 12. And then the end time I just said like 2 hours after. Then the output format is basically booked slots. So if this is empty, that basically means that there are no booked slots. But if there was a booked slot at 12 p.m., this would come back showing that. So I can actually show you here real quick. If I just make a booking here, and then if I run this again, so now it'll check to see if there is a booking available at 12. Quickly check, and then this should say unavailable. Beautiful, now it says unavailable. And if we go back into the availability tool, we can see here that it actually returns basically that calendar booking instead of just an empty field, which is cool. So we're gonna delete that real quick, and we're gonna run this again. And yeah, you can see how much quicker this is when you only take that transcript and the last few messages, as opposed to just feeding the entire webhook into this AI agent and telling it, hey, go find the confirmed time. It's not practical at all. So then there's this if available function where we basically check that if the AI agent outputs available, which in this case it does, return true. And sometimes it could output available, so make sure that returns true. So in this case, if we run this, just should go to true because there is an available slot. Brilliant. Then in here, this is the actual AI agent that creates the booking for us. So this AI agent takes in the aggregate field. So it takes in that transcript from the aggregate field, which is the exact same field that we fed into this AI agent. We're just using it again because at this point in the flow, we basically confirmed that there is an available calendar slot. So we basically just feed this chatbot the same transcript and tell it, hey, instead of checking availability, this time actually create the booking because we've already confirmed it. You could probably do this in one step, but I like this just as like a failsafe. So in this case, what we do here is for the actual system prompt, we do extract the start time, date, and purpose of the booking and the name for the booking. Make sure the response is I have successfully created booking. At person's name, at time, on date, for reason of booking. Ali looks forward to seeing you soon. So this is what the AI agent will output. Make sure to create the booking with the calendar tool and to also send an email. It's important you specify this because sometimes the AI agent will actually just skip through some of the tool steps if you don't specify. And then we also grab the phone number of the user, but do not mention it in your output message. This seems to be red, which is interesting. We can actually I'll quickly show you how to grab the phone number. In this case, I think this is just simple as, yeah, okay, let's quickly do that. And then what I want to do is I want to grab it from the webhook, not the if statement. And then we'll hopefully have my phone number. Guys, please don't call my number. Doing you guys a favor here, showing you how to do this. So please don't. Oh my God, yeah, you can see how much information there is in this webhook. It's like, imagine feeding all of this into your AI agent instead of doing the steps we did to just get the transcript. It's like, just wasting so many tokens, but yeah, there we go. That's the phone number that we extracted and the current time is now. Beautiful. So that information is fed into the AI agent and it'll go through and create a field inside of a CRM. So in this case, it's Airtable, but you could use like Google Sheets or whatever. Just with the name, date of reservation, time of reservation, phone number. We got to change the phone number as well. Let me do that real quick. We can just grab this exact same body, Control C, go back into here, Control V. Sweet, that's green now. time change, in case this transcript, in case someone's calling back and they're like, hey, can I change the time? This way we can actually register that in the CRM so that if I check it, I'll be like, oh yeah, this guy actually changed his time. Let's make sure I cancel his original booking. So that's why the time change is there, just to make sure, hey, if someone calls back and is like, hey, let me change my time, we are aware of that. Then we actually create the booking inside of our Google Calendar. So the start time, end time, exact same as the availability. This time we have a description, which is the purpose of the call, which is what we were prompted by the voice AI to give, and then the name, so our name in this case. Then, even more, we have an email. So we can actually send an email to ourselves with the subject, which is the purpose of the call, and then the message, which is basically telling us in the email the time of the booking, the date of the booking, and the purpose for an easy to read email format. And down here in the options, you're going to have a few options. There'll be an option, I'll actually show you, let me delete this. So originally you'll have your Gmail like this, and if you don't know how to set up your credentials for Gmail, it's the exact same procedure as our previous video with Google Calendar. So if you haven't watched that previous video, please do, because I actually go through step by step going into the Google console and actually configuring your authentication with anything Google related. So Gmails, calendars, Word, Google Docs, all of that. So if you're a bit confused on how to set this up, watch the previous video, but in this case, I've already set it up. So down here in options, you can add an option. It'll be an option for append n8n attribution. And basically what this is, you know how whenever you send an email to someone through your phone, at the very end, it says sent from my iPhone. Well, in this case, it's actually like sent from n8n. And we don't want that in our email. We want it to seem a bit more realistic. So you can go into append n8n attribute, and by default, this is set as true. You can just turn this off, and this will basically stop all your emails from having at the bottom sent by n8n, just to make it look a bit cleaner. Then let's actually test this out. So the AI agent will read through the system prompt. It'll recognize, okay, let's actually create all these fields. Beautiful. So we can see here in the Google Calendar, it did create for us a booking at 12 for Ali at lunch. And then we can even go into our emails, and if you have your email notifications set up, you get an email notifying you like, hey, there is a booking confirmation, booking details, name Ali, date, time, purpose. Boom, simple as that. And then yeah, if you had that n8n attribute, you'd see at the bottom here, like sent by n8n. So looks a bit cleaner. And then obviously we can send that as a webhook response back to the user. So the voice agent will basically say, I have successfully created a booking for Ali at 12 on this date for lunch. Ali looks forward to seeing you soon. So that's how that flow works. Now let's actually test this out in real time with actually calling the voice agent. So just make sure I delete this, and we'll actually call this voice agent to see that it works.
Hi, this is Ali's virtual assistant. How can I help you?
Hey, can I make a booking, please?
Of course. May I have your name for the booking?
Ali.
Thank you, Ali. Could you please provide me with the booking details, such as the date, time, and type of booking? You can share them in any order.
Let's do tomorrow at 12 p.m. for lunch.
Just to confirm, you would like to book a lunch for tomorrow at 12 p.m., correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Hold on a sec.
Okay.
Thank you for confirming, Ali. I've created the booking for you tomorrow at 12 p.m. for lunch. Looking forward to seeing you then.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. Bye. All right, beautiful. That was really well done. And the reason why it skipped over the CRM is because I forgot to delete that in the actual Airtable. But let me show you what the Airtable actually looks like real quick. Just let me sign in real quick. But I mean, you don't have to do this step. I just did this originally and then realized it makes more sense to do this with an email. But yeah, you can see I've done this quite a few times now, but you'd essentially have your data reservation, timer reservation, phone number, the purpose, and then the time change. But because we've already filled this out, it didn't bother triggering it. Just in case, I might actually just call this CRM manager and also also call the CRM manager tool. Cool. So hopefully that works, and then we can actually test this step, make sure it actually calls CRM manager. Cool. So that has just been added into here, which I think is this one. So that's all good. And then time change is automatically put as none. And then if someone comes back and makes a time change, it'll obviously change. And then, yeah, it sent back that webhook response. Now let's try a different scenario where the time is actually not available. So we'll keep this 12 p.m. booking, and let's call the agent again and basically try and get that time. So we'll do test workflow.
Hi, this is Ali's virtual assistant. How can I help you?
Hey, can I make a booking, please?
Of course. May I have your name for the booking?
John.
Thank you, John. Could you please provide the details for your booking, including the date, time, and type of booking?
Let's do 12 p.m. tomorrow for lunch.
Just to confirm, you would like to book a lunch for tomorrow at 12 p.m., correct?
Yes, that's correct.
One moment.
So this should hopefully say unavailable.
Sorry, a few more seconds. It seems that the time you requested is not available. Would you like to choose a different time tomorrow? Available slots are 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and 6 p.m.
Let's do 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Just to confirm, you would like to book a lunch for tomorrow at 4 p.m., is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Hold on a sec. Thank you for your patience, John. I've successfully created your booking for lunch tomorrow.
Are you sure? Can you double check?
Let me confirm that for you. You have a booking for lunch tomorrow at 4 p.m. under the name John, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you for confirming, John. Your booking for lunch tomorrow at 4
Okay, there seems to be an issue where it doesn't actually trigger the tool twice, which is probably just a prompt issue. But we could see from that call that it went down to the not available because we actually don't have a slot available at that time. But yeah, the Vapi assistant didn't actually work as planned, which is probably just some prompting issues. So let me quickly tweak around with the prompts to make sure that it actually calls that booking tool every time we confirm. Yeah, let's figure that out. Okay, beautiful. So I've gone ahead and tweaked the prompt a bit, and I've also moved over to GPT-4o cluster just because I found that to be a lot more better at calling tools. And that's also something I forgot to mention is the difference between 4o mini and 4o for the main part is its ability to actually tool call. So 4o mini you preferably want to use for agents that don't actually require a tool call, as opposed to 4o, which requires that on-demand tool calling and actually requires that intelligence. So just went ahead and improved the prompt a bit to make sure that if we are still on the call with the agent and they are unavailable to make a booking for us, that they'll be able to call the tool again. So let's actually see if this works now. Let's test the workflow and let's call.
Ali's virtual assistant. How can I help you?
Hey, can I make a booking, please?
Of course. May I have your name for the booking?
Ali. A-L-I.
Thank you, Ali. What are the details for the booking? Please let me know the date, time, and type of booking.
Let's do tomorrow at 2 p.m. for lunch.
Just to confirm, you would like to book a lunch for tomorrow at 2 p.m., correct?
That is correct.
Give me a moment. It looks like the 2 p.m. slot isn't available. Could you please choose a different time between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. for your booking?
Let's do 4 p.m. tomorrow instead.
Just to confirm, you'd like to book a lunch for tomorrow at 4 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Give me a moment. Is there anything else you need help with?
No, thank you. Did that booking go through?
Yes, your booking for lunch tomorrow at 4 p.m. has been successfully created. Thank you for using our service. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
And beautiful, just like that, the voice AI was able to recognize that we had a booking already slotted at 2 p.m. and it asked us to reschedule. And so we rescheduled at 4 p.m., which is exactly what it did. And yeah, the purpose of the call is lunch. Ollie, excellent. So this is a great use case for either yourself or someone you know, where you maybe just want a personal assistant to basically handle all of your bookings for you. And you could use Google Calendar, Calendly, cal.com. It really goes, it's really your choice. And even if we check our emails as well, if you have your email hooked up, you can actually get a notification for your booking. So booking confirmation for Ollie. So that's amazing. But there's lots of different use cases you can actually use this for, and you don't have to just use Gmail. You could hook it up to your Calendly, cal.com, and I think it's really efficient when you actually get this thing hooked up either to your website or maybe through a booking link instead, where it doesn't take you to Calendly, it could just take you to the voice AI. I think it's super cool, something I've worked on for quite a bit here, just tweaking around with it. I originally had this as a restaurant appointment setter, and then I realized it didn't really make sense for this type of flow. And then I made it more so your own personal virtual assistant. So anyways, with that being said, that is the end of the video. Yeah, I've had this one in the works for quite a while, which is why I put it out, but let me know what type of videos you guys want in the comments if you made it this far, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I hope you got a lot of value out of this. See ya.